Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read 2 Chronicles 36, Ezra 1-6, Proverbs 15, and Psalm 18. Let's get started. The people of the land to Jehoahaz son of Josiah, and made him king in his father's place in Jerusalem. Jehoahaz was 23 years old, and he began to reign. He reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And the king of Egypt deposed him in Jerusalem, laid on it a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. And the kings of Egypt made Eliakim and his brother king over Judah and Jerusalem, and changed his name to Jehoiakim. And Necho took Jehoahaz's brother and carried him to Egypt. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord God against the king of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, bound him and changed and taken to Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar carried part of the vessels of the house of the Lord to Babylon, put them in his place in Babylon, and the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and the abomination that he did. But what was found against him, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah. And Jehoiachin his son reigned in his place. Jehoiachin was 18 years old when he became king, and he reigned 3 months and 10 days in Jerusalem. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. In the spring of the king Nebuchadnezzar said, and brought up to Babylon with the precious vessels of the house of the Lord. And he made his brother Zedekiah over king over Judah and Jerusalem. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord his God. He did not humble himself before Jeremiah the prophet. He spoke from the mouth of the Lord. He also rebelled against King Nebuchadnezzar, who had made him swear by God. He stiffened his neck and hardened his heart, attempted against turning to the Lord God of Israel. All the officers of the priests and the people likewise spoke exceedingly unfaithful, following all the abominations of the nations, and they polluted the house of the Lord that he had made holy in Jerusalem. The Lord, the God of their fathers, sent mercilessly to them by his own messengers, as he had compassion on his own people, and on his sheep and on his non-place. But they kept mocking the messengers of God, despising his words and scoffing at his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord rose against the people, and their children remembered. Therefore he brought against the king of the Chaldeans. They killed the young man with a sword in the house of the sanctuary, and made compassion with the young men of age, old men of age. They gave them all into his hand, and all the vessels of the house of God, great and small, and the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king, and the princes, all these he brought to Babylon. And they burned the house of the Lord, the house of God, and broke down the wall of Jerusalem, burned all its palaces with fire, and destroyed all its precious vessels. He sent into exile in Babylon those who escaped from the sword, and they became servants to him and to his sons until the establishment of the kingdom of Persia, to fulfill the word of the Lord that had the mouth of Jeremiah. Until the land had enjoyed the Sabbath. All the days they laid us, they kept Sabbath to fulfill 70 years. In the first year Cyrus king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. The Lord stirred the spirit of Cyrus king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all the kings of the kingdom, and Persia put it in writing. Thus says Cyrus king of Persia, the Lord the God of heaven has given me all the kings of the earth, and he has charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Whoever among you of all his people, may the Lord God be with him. Let him go up. Ezra 1-6. In the first year of Cyrus king of Persia, the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah be fulfilled. The Lord stirred the spirit of Cyrus king of Persia. He made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom. All his kingdom to put it in writing. Thus says Cyrus king of Persia, the Lord, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Whoever is among you of all his people, and his God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and rebuild the house of the Lord, the God of Israel. He is the God who is in Jerusalem, and yet each survivor in whatever place he sojourns be assisted by the men of his place with silver and gold, with goods and with beasts. His eyes freewill offerings for the house of God that is in Jerusalem. And he then rose up the heads of the father's houses of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, everyone whose spirit God had stirred to go up and to rebuild the house of the Lord as in Jerusalem. And all who were about they had done with vessels of silver, with gold, and with goods, and with beasts, and with costly wares, beside all that was freely offered. So after the king Ezra brought out the vessels of the house of the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar had carried away from Jerusalem and placed in the house of his gods. So as king of Persia brought these out in the charge of Mithridates as the treasurer, he counted about the Sheshbaz of the prince of Judah. And this was the number of them: 30 baskets of gold, 1,000 baskets of silver, 29 censers, 30 bowls of gold, 410 bowls of silver, and 1,000 other vessels. All the vessels of gold and silver were 5,400. All these did Sheshbaz bring out. The exiles were brought out from Babylon into Jerusalem. Now these were the people of the province who came out of the captivity of those exiles whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, carried captives to Babylon. They returned to Jerusalem and Judah, each to his own town. They came to Zerubbabel, Jeshua, Nehemiah, Sariah, Reelaiah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mizpah, Bigvai, Rahab, and Baanah. And the number of the men of the people was the sons of Paris 2,172, the sons of Shephatiah 3,072, the sons of Erez 775, the sons of Pathman, namely the sons of Jishua and John 2,812, the sons of Elam 1,254, the sons of Zati 945, the sons of Zakai 760, the sons of Bani 642, the sons of Bebai 623, the sons of Azgad 1,222, the sons of Adonikam 666, the sons of Bigvai 2,056, the sons of Ada 454, the sons of Ada, namely of Hezekiah 98, the sons of Bezai 323, sons of Jorah 112, the sons of Hatham 223, sons of Gibah 95, the sons of Bethlehem 123, the men of Netopha 56, and the men of Anathoth 128, sons of Asmai 42, the sons of men of Mishmash 122, and men of Bethel 223, sons of Nebo 52, the sons of Magbish 156, sons of the other Ella 1,254, the sons of Haram 320, sons of Lod Hadad 725, sons of Jericho 345, the sons of Senah 3,630, the priests, the sons of Jedaiah of the house of Jeshua 973, the sons of Imani 1,052, the sons of Pasha 1,247, the sons of Ham 1,017, the Levites, the sons of Jeshua and Canaan, the sons of Hodaviah 74, the singers, the sons of Asaph 128, the sons of the gatekeepers, the sons of Shalom, the sons of Ater, the sons of Tom, the sons of Akko, the sons of Hatita, the sons of Shobai, in all 139. The temple servants are the sons of Zihar, the sons of Ashapha, the sons of Tibaoth, the sons of Keros, the sons of Sihah, the sons of Pain, the sons of Lebanon, the sons of Hagabah, the sons of Akko, the sons of Hagbad, the sons of Shamlai, the sons of Hanan, the sons of Giddah, the sons of Gahal, the sons of Reah, the sons of Resin, the sons of Nekodah, the sons of Gazam, the sons of Elsa, the sons of Paseah, the sons of Besai, the sons of Asna, the sons of Meunah, the sons of Nephusim, the sons of Bakba, the sons of Harsha, the sons of Barkosh, the sons of Sisera, the sons of Timah, the sons of Hanazia, and the sons of Hatifa, the sons of Solomon's sons, the sons of Sotai, the sons of Hashophrath, the sons of Peruda, the sons of Jala, the sons of Darkin, the sons of Gidal, the sons of Shephatiah, the sons of Hatil, the sons of Pocket Hasmai, with the sons of Ani. All the temple servants and the sons of Solomon's sons were 392. All the temple servants and the sons of Solomon's sons were 392. And the following were those who came from Tel Melah, Tel Harsha, Cherab, Adan, and Emma. Although they could not prove their father's house or their descent, whether they belonged to Israel, the sons of Dolai, the sons of Tobit, the sons of Nekodah, 652. Those are the sons of the priests, the sons of Habed, the sons of Hakos, and the sons of Barzillai. These sought their registration among those who were enrolled in their genealogy. They were not found there, so that they were excluded from the priesthood as unclean. The governor told them that they were not to partake of the priesthood of the most holy food, until they should be approved to concern with Urim and Thummim. The whole assembly together was 42,360. As far as their male and female servants were approved, there were 7,337, and they had 200 male and female singers. Their horses were 736, the mules were 245, their cows were 435. And their donkeys were 6,720. None of the heads of the families, and they came to the house of the Lord that in Jerusalem, made free offerings in the house of God, to erect on the side. According to their ability, they gave to the church of the Lord 61,000 derricks of gold, and 5,000 minas of silver, and 100 priest garments. Now the priests, the Levites, some of the Hebrew singers, the gatekeepers, and the temple servants lived in their towns. All the rest of Israel in their towns. And in the 7th month came in the children of Israel in their towns. People gathered as one man to Jerusalem. They arose Jeshua the son of Josadak with his fellow priests, and Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel with his kinsmen, because they built the altar of the God of Ezra, to offer burnt offerings as is written on the law amongst the men of God. And they set the altar in its place, for fear was under them because of the peoples of the land. And they offered the burnt offering on it as the Lord to the Lord burnt offerings morning and evening. And they kept the feast of booths as is written, and offered the daily burnt offering by number according to the rule. As each day required, after that the regular burnt offerings, the offerings at the new moon, and all the appointed offerings. Or the appointed feast of the Lord, the offering that everyone had made a free offering to the Lord. On the first day of the 7th month, they began to offer burnt offerings to the Lord. The foundation of the temple of the Lord was not yet laid, so they gave money to the masons and the carpenters, and food, drink, and oil to the sidonians and the Tyrians, doing sanitaries on the banner and to the sea to drop according to a grant that they had from Cyrus king of Persia. And the second year after their coming to the house of God at Jerusalem, in the 2nd month, Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel and Jeshua the son of Joshua, they had beginning together with the best of their kinsmen. The priests and Levites and all who had come to Jerusalem from the captivity, they appointed the Levites from 20 years old and upward to supervise the work of the house of the Lord. And Jeshua with his sons and his brothers, and Cadmiel and his sons, the sons of Judah, together supervised the workmen in the house of God, along with the son of Hananiah and the Levites, the sons and brothers. And the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord. The priests and their vestments came forth with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals to praise the Lord. The according to the directions of David King Ezra. They sang responsibly, praising and giving thanks to the Lord. He is good, for his established love endures forever toward it. All the people shouted with a great shout when they praised the Lord, because the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid. And many of the priests and the Levites and heads of Father's house, all men who had seen the first house wept with a loud voice when they saw the foundation of this house being laid. Although many would shout out loud for joy, so that people could not distinguish the sound of the dreadful shout or the sound of the people's weeping. But the people shouted with a great shout, the sound was heard far away. And when the adversaries of Judah who went to ahead of the returned exiles, who were building a temple to the Lord the God of Israel, they appointed Zerubbabel and the heads of Father and said to them, Let us build for thee, for we worship your God as you do, and we have been sacrificing to him ever since the days that Esau had and the king of Syria, who brought us here. Then Zerubbabel, Jeshua, and the rest of the heads of Father and Israel said to him, You have nothing to do with us in building a house to the God. We alone will build to the Lord the God of Israel, as King Cyrus, king of Persia, commanded. People of the land discouraged the people of Judah and made them afraid to build, and bribed counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. And the reign of Ahasuerus, the beginning of his reign, they wrote an accusation against the inhabitants in Judah and Jerusalem. In the days of Artaxerxes, Bishlam and Mithridates, and Tabeel and the rest of their associates, wrote to Artaxerxes, king of Persia. The letter was written in Aramaic and translated. Rehum the commander, Shimshai the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes, king against his followers. Rehum the commander, Shimshai the scribe, and the rest of their associates, the judges, the governors, the officials, the Persians, the men of Iraq, the Babylonians, the men of Susa, the Elamites, and the rest of the nations. The rest of the nations, whom the great noble Osnapper, deported and settled in the seas of Sumer, and in the rest of the province beyond the river. To Artaxerxes, king of the king, the men of the province beyond the river, send greeting, and now be it known to the king that the Jews who came out from you to us have gone to Jerusalem. They are rebuilding their reliance on wickedness. They are finishing the walls and repairing the foundation. And now be it known to the king that if the city is rebuilt and the walls finished, he will not pay tribute, custom, or toll, and the royal revenue will be impaired. Now, because we eat the side of the palace, and it is not fitting for us to witness the king's dishonor, therefore we send and inform the king. In all that such may mean in the book of the records of the you'll find in the book of the records the cities are rebellious, so you have fought to king and promises. Sedition was stirred up in it from above. This was why the city was laid waste. We make known to the king that if this city is rebuilt and it's all finished, you will then have no possession in the province beyond the river. The king sent an answer to him, the commander, Shimshai the scribe, and the rest of their associates who lived in Samaria, and in the rest of the province beyond the river. Greeting, and now the letter that you sent to us has been plainly read before me, and I made it a decree, and such has been made, and it has been found that the sea from the Lord has risen against kings, and that rebellion and sedition have been made, and mighty kings have been over Jerusalem, who ruled over the whole province beyond the river, to whom tribute, custom, and toll were paid. Therefore make a decree that these have been made to cease, and that this sea be not rebuilt until a decree is made by me, and take care not to be slack in this matter, or I should damage grow to the heart of the king. And when the copy of King Artaxerxes' letter was read before him, and Shimshai the scribe and their associates, they went in haste to the Jews of Jerusalem by force and power made them cease, and the work of the house of the God that is in Jerusalem stopped, and it ceased until the second year of the reign of Darius king of Persia. Now the prophets Haggai and Zechariah and the son of Ezra prophesied to the Jews who were in Judah and Jerusalem, and the name of the God of Israel who was over them. And Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel and Jeshua the son of Jozadak, heard him began to rebuild the house of God as in Jerusalem. The prophets of God were with them, supporting them. At the same time, Tattenai the governor of the province beyond the river, and Sheth the Bosmer, and the associates came and spake to them thus: Who gave you a decree to build this house to finish the structure? They also asked them this: Who are the names of the men who are building this building? And the hand their God was on them, was the Jews. And they did not stop them until the report should reach Darius, and then Ezra should be returned. And then concerning this is a copy of the letter that Tattenai the governor of the province beyond the river, Sheth-Bosnai and his associates, the governors who were in the province beyond the river, sent to Darius the king. They sent a report in which was written as follows: To Darius the king, all peace. He had known to the king that we went to the province of Judah to house the great God. It is being built with huge stones, and timbers laid in the walls. Its work goes on diligently and prospers in their hands. And when we asked those elders and spoke to them thus: Who gave you a decree to build this house and to finish this structure? We also asked them their names for your information, that we might write down the names of the leaders. And this was their reply to us: You are the sons of the God of heaven and earth. And we are rebuilding the house that was built many years ago, which a great king and of Israel built and finished. Now because our father had angered the God of heaven, he gave him into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, Chaldean, who destroyed his house and carried away the people to Babylon. However, in the first year Cyrus, king of Babylon, the king made a decree so that this house of God should be rebuilt, and the God sent a vessel that was in Jerusalem, the house of God. Nebuchadnezzar had been taken out of the temple that was in Jerusalem and brought into the temple of Babylon. These Cyrus the king took out of the temple of Babylon, and they were delivered to one whose name was Sheshbaz, whom he had made governor. And he said to them, Take these vessels, go and put them in the temple that is in Jerusalem, and let the house of God be built on this side. And this Sheshbaz came and laid the foundations of the house of God that is in Jerusalem. And from that time on it has been in building, and is not yet finished. If it seems good to the king, let such be made in the royal church. and Babylon to see whether the decree was issued by Cyrus the king, and all the rebuilding of this house of God in Jerusalem. And let the king send us his pleasure in this matter. And Darius the king made a decree, and such was made in Babylon in the house of Archon. The documents were stolen, and Ecbatana sent out those in the province of Media. A scroll was found on which this was a record. In the first year of the Cyrus king of Persia, Cyrus the king issued a decree concerning the house of God in Jerusalem, that the house be rebuilt, the place for sacrifice offered, and let its foundation be attained. Its height shall be 60 cubits, and its breadth 60 cubits, with 3 layers of great stones and 1 layer of timber. Let the cost be paid from the royal treasury. And I shall let the gold and silver vessels of the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar took out of the temple that was in Jerusalem, and then brought to Babylon, be restored and brought back to the temple that is in Jerusalem, each to its place. You shall put them in the house of God. Therefore Tattenai, the governor of the province beyond the river, Shethar-bozenai, and Nereus, the governor from the province beyond the river, keep away the work of this. To work on this house of God, and that the governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews rebuild this house of God on its side. Will I make a decree regarding what you shall do for these elders with the Jews and of the rebuilding of this house of God? The cost is to be paid for these men for without delay them from the royal revenue, tribute of the province from beyond the river, and whatever is needed. Wolves, rams, or sheep, or bear offerings to the God of heaven, so wheat, salt, wine, and oil. And as the priests of Jerusalem reply, let them be given to them day by day without fail, and they may offer pleasing sacrifices to the God of heaven and pray for the life of the king and his son. First I make a decree that if anyone alters this edict, the people shall be pulled out of his house, and he shall be inherited on it. His house shall be made a dunghill. And if the God has caused his name to dwell there, overthrow any king or people, he shall put out a hand. To alter this, or to destroy the house of God that is in Jerusalem. I dare to make a decree, and let it be done with all diligence. And according to the words sent by Darius the king, the Tattenai, the governor of the province beyond the river, Shethar-bozenai, and their searchers, did with all diligence what Darius the king ordered, and all the elders built and prospered through the prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Iddo. They finished their building by decree of the god of Ezra, and by decree of Cyrus and Darius and Artaxerxes the king of Persia, and his house was finished on the 3rd day of the month of Adar, in the 6th year of the reign of Darius the king. And the people of Israel, the priests and the Levites, and the rest of the returned exiles celebrated the dedication of the house of God with joy. They offered at the dedication of the house of God 100 bulls, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and as a sin offering to all Israel, 12 male goats, according to the number of the tribes of Israel. And he set the priests in their division, and the Levites in their division. The service of God at Jerusalem is written in the book of Moses. On the 14th day of the 1st month, all the returned exiles kept the Passover. So the priests and the Levites had purified themselves together. All of them were clean, so they slaughtered the Passover for all the returned exiles. For their fellow priests and buffalo themselves. It was eaten by the people of Israel who returned from exile. It was eaten by everyone who had joined and separated himself from the uncleanness of the Hebrews of the land. Worship the Lord, the God of Israel, and they kept the feast of unleavened bread. It was 7 days with joy. They heard the Lord and made them joyful, and they turned their heart to the king of Assyria. So he aided them in the work of the house of God, the God of Israel. Proverbs 15. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs anger. And the tongue of the wise commits knowledge, but the mouth of fools was a fire. I said, Lord, I in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. General tongue is the tree of life. Fastness in it breaks the spirit. For despises his father's instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is praised. In the house of the righteous there is much treasure. The tongue of the fools, the heart and of the wicked. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, not so the hearts of fools. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord. Sacrifice but the parent that outright is acceptable to. Work and wicked is an abomination to the Lord. But he loves him who chooses his righteousness. It is severe discipline for him who forsakes the way, and whoever hates reproof will die. And it's strong and bad might open before the Lord. How much more the hearts of the children? The scoffer doesn't like to be reproved. He will not go to the wise, but heart makes a cheerful face. By sorrow of heart the spirit is crushed. The heart of him who is understanding seeks knowledge. All the days of the earth afflict are evil. The cheerful heart is continual face. Better is little with fear of the Lord, and a great treasure in trouble with it. It has a dinner of herbs and with lovers and friend oxen hatred with it. It is hard to minister strife, but he who slays to anger quiets contention. Whenever it's like a hedge of thought, and the path of the upright is love high, and wisdom makes a glad path. And a foolish man decides his mind, there follows the joy to him in accents. And a man of understanding walks straight ahead, without counsel plans fail. But if any advice they succeed, to make the abstinence is a joy to me. And one sees how good is the path of life leads upward for the prudent. He may turn away from trouble beneath the Lord, test in the house of the proud, and maintains the widow's boundaries. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the gracious words are pure. Whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household. He hates bribes will live How the righteous will upon his satires, and the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. The Lord is far from the wicked. He hears the prayers of the righteous. The light of eyes rejoices the heart. Goodness refreshes the bones. And you that listen to life giving a prayer for a dog on the voice. Whoever ignores instruction despises himself. He who listens to reproof gains intelligence. The face of the Lord is instruction and wisdom. Humility comes before honor. Psalm 18. I love you, Lord, with my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. I God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. I am safe from my enemies. Cords of death encompass me, the cords of destruction assail me. Cords of shoal entangle me, the snares of death in front of me. In my stress I call upon the Lord, to my God I cried for help. On his temple he heard my voice, and my cry to him reached his ears. And the earth reeled, and the rock of the foundations of the mountains trembled. As smoke went out from his nostrils, and devouring fire from his mouth, burning coals flame forth from it. He bowed the heavens and came down. Take darkness for Sunday's feet. He rode on a cherubim foot. He came swiftly on the wings of the wicked. He made darkness in his covering, his canopy all around. Thick clouds dark with water, and the brightness before him. Hailstones and coals of fire broke through his clouds. The Lord is his thunder in the heavens, and the Most High uttered his voice. Hailstones and coals of fire. He sent arrows and scattered, and he flashed with lightnings around them. And the chance of the sea was seen, and the foundation of the world was laid bare. And you rebuke it, Lord, the blast of the breath of your nostrils. He sent you from on high. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He rescued me from my storm. I knew him from those who hated me. They were too mighty for me. He confronted me in the day of my calamity. And the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a broad place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. And the Lord dealt with me according to my righteousness. According to cleanness of my hands, he rewarded me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord. I am not wickedly depart from my God. Rules were before me. My statutes I did not put away from me. I was blameless before him, and I kept myself from my guilt. So the Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness. According to the cleanness of my hands this time. If the merciful, you show yourself merciful. With the blameless man, you show yourself blameless. And the purified, you show yourself pure. And with the crooked you make yourself team torches. I save from humble people, but the haughty eyes bring you down. It is by you who light my lamp, the God who lights my darkness. By I can run against the tree, and my God I can lead. By my God I can lead before. His God this way is perfect. The word of the Lord appears to you. It's a shield to all those who take refuge in him. Who is God but the Lord? Who is the rock except our God? The God who equipped me with strength and made my way blameless. He made my feet like the feet of the deer and set me secure on the heights. He has changed my hands for war, and my arms can bend a bow of bronze. He given me the shield of your salvation. Your right hand supported me. With gentleness made me great. You gave me a wide place for my steps under me, and my feet did not slip. I pursued my enemies and overtook them, and did not turn back until they were consumed. I slept them through, so that they were not able to rise. They fell under my feet, for you equipped me with strength for the battle. You made those who rise against me sink under me. You made my enemies turn their backs to me, and those who hate me are destroyed. They cried for help, but there is none to say. They cried to the Lord, but he did not answer. I beat them as fine as dust before the wind. I cast them out like the mire of the streets. You delivered me from the strife of the people. You made me the head of the nation. People whom I had not known served me. As soon as they heard of me, they obeyed me. Foreigners came cringing to me. Foreigners lost heart and came trembling out their fortresses. The Lord lives, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be the God of my salvation. The Lord God who gave me friends and subdued peoples under me. He rescued me from my enemies. Yeah, you exalted me above those who rise against me. You delivered me from man of violence. This I'll praise you, Lord, among the nations, and sing to your name. Great salvation he brings to his king. He shows to his love to his anointed, to David and his offspring forever. Now the stone, I should not to the Lord's prayer. Raise your heads, Father in heaven, and I be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and give us the debts and forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.